A woman is sitting in a car that isn't hers, holding a phone she's not supposed to have, and trying to keep her voice steady while she talks to 911. She gives her name and explains that she's been kidnapped. The dispatcher believes her. The call goes through, the information is clear, and police are close enough to help, and still, she doesn't make it home. What's worse is that this isn't the only time it happens. Years earlier, another woman keeps calling the police, walking into stations, and warning them exactly how she's going to be hurt if no one steps in. When it finally happens, it unfolds almost exactly the way she said it would. These are the emergency calls investigators still talk about, not because no one answered, but because they did. It's January 17th, 2008, in Northport, Florida. Denise Amber Lee is 21 years old, at home with her 2 young sons while her husband Nathan is out working. Denise is a stay-at-home mom, which she loves. Nathan works multiple jobs so she can be there with the kids, and even though they're busy, they talk constantly throughout the day. That morning, around 11, they're on the phone talking about something completely ordinary. Money, the air conditioning. It's a nice day, so they agree to turn it off and open the windows to save a bit of cash. Denise tells him she's already opened them. The call ends like any other. A few hours later, Nathan finishes work and calls Denise again. She doesn't answer. He calls again. Still nothing. By the time he's driving home, he's called her 8 times, and that quiet, sinking feeling has set in. When he pulls into the driveway, the first thing he notices is the windows. They're all closed, which immediately feels wrong because they literally talked about them earlier. Inside, the house doesn't look trashed, just unsettled. Then he sees the crib. Both boys are asleep in the same one. That never happens. Denise's phone is on the couch. Her keys are there too. Denise never leaves without them. At 3:29 p.m., Nathan calls 911 and reports his wife missing. While police are asking questions, a neighbor mentions something she almost didn't bring up. Earlier that afternoon, she noticed a green Camaro idling in Denise's driveway for about 15 minutes. Police put out a lookout for the car, but hours pass with no sign of Denise. Then, at 6:14 p.m., a 911 dispatcher answers a call that immediately feels different. A woman speaks calmly into the phone. She says her name is Denise Lee. She says she's been kidnapped and that she doesn't know the man who has her. Then, she says the thing that stays with everyone who hears it. She just wants to see her family again. Denise has stolen her kidnapper's phone while he's driving. Instead of panicking, she's thinking. She chooses her words carefully, answers questions clearly, and keeps her voice steady. When the man realizes his phone is missing and asks her about it, she lies instantly and says she has no idea where it went. She keeps the call alive, dropping clues without making it obvious, mentioning the highway and saying I-75. The call lasts about 7 minutes. When it ends, Denise is still alive. 9 minutes later, another call comes in. A young woman explains that a relative stopped by asking to borrow a shovel and a gas can. While he was there, a woman jumped out of the car screaming for help. For about 30 seconds, everything turns chaotic. The man forces her back into the car and drives away. The witness calls her daughter, who makes the emergency call. Then, at 6:30 p.m., another call comes in. A woman is stopped at a red light when a dark green Camaro pulls up next to her. She hears screaming and sees a hand slamming against the back window. She calls 911 and stays on the line, following the car and naming streets as it turns. Police cars are nearby, but nothing happens. The information doesn't move. No units intercept the car. At 6:40 p.m., another call confirms that a woman is being held against her will in a green Camaro. At 9:16 p.m., a state trooper pulls the car over. The man is alone. He's soaked from the waist down. A muddy shovel is in the car. Denise's phone is in his pocket, the battery removed. He refuses to say where Denise is. 2 days later, Her body is found in a shallow grave less than half a mile from where the car was stopped. Investigators later admit that if the 6:30 p.m. call had been handled correctly, Denise likely would have been rescued while she was still alive. And this wasn't the first time someone warned police exactly what was coming. Years earlier, another woman was doing the same thing. Her name was Tracy Thurman. Tracy moved to Florida at 17 after her mother died of cancer. They were extremely close, and Tracy dropped out of school to take care of her. After her mom passed, Tracy took a job as a maid at a motel. That's where she met Charles Thurman, who went by Buck. They married young and had a son named CJ. The marriage was abusive. Eventually, Tracy ran back to her hometown of Torrington, Connecticut, thinking distance would protect her. It didn't. Buck showed up uninvited. Police were called after he grabbed Tracy by the throat and threatened her. He wasn't arrested. The stalking escalated. On November 1st, Buck choked Tracy and kidnapped CJ. When Tracy begged police for help, she was told there was nothing they could do. She negotiated to get her son back. Once CJ was home, the threats continued. Buck told her he'd kill her if she went to the police again. She went anyway. Police dismissed it as a marriage issue. Buck was later arrested for smashing Tracy's windshield, but was released on probation. He promised to stay away. He didn't. Tracy kept calling the police, kept warning them. In May of 1983 alone, she begged officers to arrest him. She was told to wait. On June 10th, Buck was still free. That afternoon, he showed up again. A call was made to the police. Nothing happened. After 15 minutes, Tracy stepped outside. Buck dragged her across the yard and stabbed her 13 times. An officer arrived and stayed in his car. He took the knife, but he didn't arrest Buck. Buck stomped on Tracy's head until her neck broke, then dropped their son onto her body. Only then was he handcuffed. Tracy survived. She lived long enough to say this wasn't sudden or unpredictable. She warned them over and over. Denise did too, in the only way she could. Both women did everything right. So why did the system fail them? Comment your thoughts below, and don't forget to like and subscribe while you're there.